We are hearing from one of the 18 families whose loved one was found decomposing at a Douglas funeral home. And now several families are seeking legal action, saying the Secretary of State's office could have prevented this disheartening discovery.
Now, the owner of Johnson Funeral Home, Chris Johnson, is facing multiple charges after investigators found 18 decomposing bodies and 2 pets at the funeral home. WALB News 10's investigative reporter Lena Allen reports on the red flags at the funeral home long before it was finally shut down.
I don't know how to explain the gut-wrenching pain that I felt.
In late October, Johnson Funeral Home was shut down as investigators came across a gruesome discovery: 18 bodies and 2 pets decomposing. 4 weeks later, Desiree Hatch found out one of them was her mother, Charlotte Nastasi. She passed away in June of this year.
I fell apart more hearing that she was one of the 18 than I did when she actually died.
Miss Charlotte is remembered as a fighter, but when she was put into hospice care, she asked her family to do only 2 things after she died.
One was that her body be blessed before she leaves the house, and the second one was to be direct cremated because she did not want to go through the stages of decomposition. I feel like I failed her.
The Hatch family paid $1,400 for services from Johnson that were never fulfilled. They also never received a death certificate, which has put a halt to closing out Miss Charlotte's life. Several questions remain unanswered, including how a state inspector passed the facility to begin with.
How does she do that and not see the bodies in the cooler?
This is the Secretary of State inspection that was done at Johnson Funeral Home in July. You can see that the facility received a passing inspection, even though Johnson did not have an establishment, embalmment, and funeral director license at the time. Sources tell me his licenses lapsed. According to state law, to operate a funeral home, you must have all required licenses. Along with passing his inspection, Johnson was never fined for not having his license.
So do you think the Secretary of State's office dropped the ball, and could this have all been prevented?
Absolutely. The first thing they look at is your license. And so that's what, we were worried about. How can you do business and how can you pass an inspection?
Chuck Sims, a Douglas funeral homeowner, tells me there were red flags well before the discovery. 2 years ago, he tells me he filed a complaint against Johnson Funeral Home when he found out there were issues with Johnson's license.
Something could have been done. It's like getting a loved one back, and they thought the loved one was already cremated.
I reached out to the Secretary of State's office for a statement and am still waiting to hear back. I also filed an open records request to see how many complaints Johnson Funeral Home received last year. I will update you as I receive more information. For WALB Investigates, I'm Lena Allen.